Good morning, girls and boys. Happy Saturday. And today's video is me killing two birds with one stone. Literally, I wanted this morning, being a Saturday morning, to complete one of my many unfinished songs, but I do like the song. So I wanted to do that, but I also wanted to make a video. And I thought, don't have time to do both. So let's actually record the video while I am fixing or completing the song. So there is, as you can see here, a song, and you can see down here, right in the bottom, that it's pretty much a completed song. It goes up to 2 minutes. It might be a little bit short, actually. So we may extend some of the parts of the song, which is exactly what I'm going to talk about here, actually. Um, and the other thing I tend to do when I'm looking at a song and wanting to complete it is sorry, is to I get Notepad out. So I've got already open Notepad here. Get Notepad out and start making little notes. Okay, so I listen to the song, make notes, and then I act on those notes. So the first three things on my notes, they're always in my notes: arrangement, the EQ and look at EQ and frequency clashes, and making sure subs and basses are mono. There are other things we could do, but I'll just know them off the top of my head. But I just want to make sure of those. For some reason, parts 2 and 3, I keep forgetting to do that, so I just have them on my list. Arrangement is what we're going to go through now. So, what do you mean by arrangement? Well, this song was literally made in, I don't know, 45 minutes, 1 hour. But I think that's the best way to make a song, actually, is just to go with inspiration and just try to not think too much about it. But today's session is the thinking part. So let's listen to the song and listen to the arrangement. I'm not going to listen to the whole song because we won't have time to do all of that. We'll listen to, say, the first 20, 30 seconds of the song, and I'll make notes. So I've just listening to it. This intro, this percussion bit, I think that's too loud. At the 40-second mark, around here, there's kind of like a stick sound. I also noticed as I keep listening to it, hear that the reverb can be toned down a bit. So I can send the reverb to a return track as well, because we just want to make sure we've got no clashes between the actual vocal and the. Okay, I think we might start with the reverb because that's quite annoyingly loud. So let's get the return track in there, and just want to check that the reverbs are the same settings. I think they are. So that I'm using a Valhalla vintage verb. It costs about $50. It's extremely good and very useful. So let's just memorize those settings, and then we'll go to the other vocal track. Yeah, the same settings, so that's good. So this is also a good time to rename your tracks. As I said before, when I was creating it, I did it very quickly so I could be inspired and not be too bogged down by the admin. But this is now you're using the other part of your brain, the non-creative part where you're thinking logically, and we're going to group those together. Just press Control G and call this the vocal group. So we're organized in terms of the vocals. Then we're going to get the return track here, and we're going to literally on the separate vocals. So we have a kickstart on both. So on the separate vocals, I'm just going to drag from the vocal track the kickstart and Valhalla reverb to the return track. I'm going to remove it from this, because I believe they're the same. So basically on the second track, what I did was it's a exact copy of the first track, but it is it's actually an octave higher, and it's much lower in volume. There's just kind of almost like a backing track, but I just felt it sounded good. So let's listen to it now, just the vocal part here now. So let's now just apply the reverb to the vocal track. So let's find this baby. There it is. Let's listen to it. Just to let you know, the kickstart is an emulation almost of a side chain, if you didn't know what it was. But I'm just going to switch it off and just listen to it without the side chain. Okay, so that sounds cool, but I'm going to now put a compressor. So now I'm going to put a compressor against just a standard Ableton compressor against the return track. And what I'm trying to do is get that really, actually maybe even increase slightly the reverb, and then sidechain that against the original vocal inputs. The reason I'm doing that is so that there's actually no reverb when she sings, but after she stops singing, the reverb really kicks in. So let's do that. Little duck there for the reverb, and just finally I'm just going to use you can use an Ableton EQ, but I'm going to use the Pro EQ because I've got it. So I'm going to just move that into the return track. This is a reverb return track, so I'm just going to kill anything that is below, I don't know, how many frequencies is this? 300. So just kill the lower frequencies. So let's do that. Let's give it like that. Okay, so the other thing is, so just listen to going back to the return track. I actually don't want that tail to go too long after she stops singing. I'm gone. You got me right where you wanna be. section there. We'll just kill the tail.
You got me right where you want me at. You got me right where you.
So just reducing the volume of the reverb. So just so you can hear the rest of the track. So that's good. Let's see what else we've got here. So the transitions also just reduce the volume of that reverb. That's why the return tracks are so cool, because you can have complete control over the reverb. Whereas if you put the reverb on top of vocal, you've got some control, but it's not the same. So just duck it just a little bit.
You say you wanna love me, right here. You say you wanna love me, right here. Turn on my light, all night, be all night long. Turn on my light, I need you before I'm gone. Turn on my light, all night, be all night long. Turn on my light, I need you before I'm gone. Turn on my light, all night, be all night long. Turn on my light, I need you before I'm gone. Turn on my light, all night, be all night long.
All I've done there is just cut and paste the automation. Okay, so we could do some more there, but I think that's pretty cool. So what's next? When I was listening to the beginning of the song, there was an arrangement issue. So let's just, I didn't take note of that because I was listening to the EQ, but let's just listen to it again from this point here. Okay, so there's a problem. So this, if you just listen to this audio track here, let's rename this to riser. This is a riser track, so let's listen to it in solo. But then there is a clash in here. Let's listen to this bit. Let's listen to them together. Actually, not so bad there, but this one's fine. So there's definitely a clash. Let's listen to it again. Let's just be very, very clear about what it does not sound good. It is the bass, so let's just remove that bass element. I actually do like that bass element, so I'm not sure. Maybe the rise is the problem. Right. That's the problem. Okay. Sorry about that. So it just takes a while, but you've just got to listen and look, and that is the problem. So if I just have a listen to this track. That does not sound good with this. That's off. So we can either get rid of it, or we can just get it more into tune. So let's just listen to. No, that's terrible. Let's just remove it. Let's listen to the whole track together. There's something missing there, unfortunately, but it does sound better when you remove that note. And I'm just wondering if we kill that drum there, if it sounds even better. Okay, so it's a bit better, and I will definitely work on that later. I don't want to spend the whole video working on that element. So the other thing that I wasn't sure about is the way the vocals come in. Tell me what you want me to be. You say you wanna love me. So they could come in a bit earlier, but if you do that, I think the rest of it goes out of sync. I remember trying this last time. See, that doesn't sound right. Let's just bring it in. I'm just literally selecting the sample and pressing right and left.
Tell me what you want me to be. You say you wanna love me right here. Tell me, are you ready? Oh, I don't wanna play no games. I've been working hard all day. I just wanna kick back and play.
That's the problem. So there's a bit here where it's this is a sample from a sample pack, and there's a bit here that's missing, and that was the problem.
I just wanna kick back and play.
So let's just listen to that again slightly. That's actually not very good there, so I'm just going to get rid of that.
And play.
One technique is you could press Control E there and just chop that sample up. Not saying that's going to work, but experimentation it's fun. Let's try that.
And play.
Not sure. So let's just do this.
Play.
I'll tell you what I'm doing after I've done it. Sorry, I just need to focus. So let's just do this.
Play.
Let's just be playful here, so we're just gonna just do that. So I've just literally transposed that down an octave. Let's transpose this one down half an octave. What's that? That is 6, so that's -4. So it sounds like a guy. Let's listen to that. So that's maybe a solution. I don't think it sounds that organic. I'm just going to listen to it. It's just good to listen to a little bit before that, so just to see if it sounds like it flows better.
I don't wanna play no games. I've been working hard all day. I just wanna kick back and play.
So I will review that later, but I think, so what I would do normally now, but I don't want to spend too much time doing this, is I would go back to the sample pack and see if there was a alternative sample or an addition to that verse that could make it sound more organic. But for now, the chops actually don't sound terrible, but it almost changes the dynamic of the song, maybe too much, almost, and that would maybe. So a typical house song is kind of organic and piano-y, and well, this one's not piano-y, but you know what I mean. It's like organic and flowing, and when you start putting vocal chops and samples, I think you turn it into something else. So I'm a little bit unsure about that, but for now, it doesn't sound terrible. We've got the vocal track starting at the right position. So the other thing about the arrangement, you can see here that there's a bit of duplication. So what I've done there is copied and pasted the vocal, and I remember listening to that before and thinking there's something wrong. So what I mean is, I'll just listen to it now.
Before I'm gone, you got me right where you want me at.
repetition. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start chopping as well. So
You got me right where you wanna be at. You got me right where you wanna.
so there we can press Control E and kill. So just to make it more smoother, I'm just going to I'm going to go back to the I'm going to remove automation mode and just crossfade this down a little bit. So listen to it now.
You got me right where you wanna be at. You got me right where you wanna. You got me right where you wanna be at. You got me.
So there we can kill that. Get the crossfade in there. So you have to listen to it together. I know it's a little bit irritating.
You got me right where you wanna be at. You got me right where you wanna. You got me right where you wanna be at. You got me.
And obviously, I have not done that on the vocals below, which, as I said before, is a cut and paste. But actually, whereas previously it was an octave higher, this one's actually an octave lower. Actually, let's just try something. This is still experimenting a little bit. Let's just remove this, remove the actual track, and listen to it.
Wanna be at. You got me.
There's nothing like a bit of space in the track. so yeah, I can't teach this because this is a personal preference and you might hate it, but I actually think that doesn't sound too bad. It's just a bit low in volume. So I'm going to press Control E here and just increase the sound volume there just slightly.
You got me right where you wanna be at. You got me.
So that is a lot of nice space, but actually it sounds too empty now, and we will need a riser there. Let's see if we can, just for consistency, use the same riser that we used here. See what that sounds like.
You got me.
Okay, so there's another sound here. If you listen to this, this is do-do-do-do-do. I want that to come here.
You got me.
Now there's too many risers, so I'm just going to get rid of that one now. So there's something not right there as well. The bass is off in terms of the combination of the bass and the chord. So the pads are here. Freezing the pads because they're using Diva and my computer can't cope with Diva. So, and an M1. So experiment number 2, kill the pads there where there's a clash with the bass. Let's listen to that. Actually, the bass, it's the problem. The bass is the problem. So let's listen to the bass here. So I've spent a bit of time tweaking things, and there's more to do, obviously, and this could take a while. So I'm not going to go through the rest of the tweaking. I'll be doing that after this video. But I did take some notes right at the beginning when my ears weren't, and this is the really good thing about taking notes at the beginning, because my ears weren't affected so much by the sound. But this is now objective information. So I know that around 40 seconds, so I remember that at about 40 seconds, the intro section, that stick sound at about 40 seconds was a bit annoying. So let's go there.
I need you before I'm gone. Another my life.
So what is that stick sound? Is it this? It's just solo. That's it. So what do we have here? So this, I could see straight away there is that, and I just want to, that intro bit, which is just starting too suddenly. So I'm just going to crossfade that out. So if we just listen to it without that, without the track altogether, there's still a stick sound. I don't know what that is. Let's just try and isolate it here. Let's take that out. It's not there. It might be this. It's not that. It's not that. It's not that. What is that? Ah, okay. Yes. So there you go. This is where using your ears at the beginning of the song really helps. So that was when I first made the song, I had this sub bass sound, and I removed it from most of the clips, but I didn't remove it from this one. Yeah. So I think that's problem solved. So let's listen to the rest. Let's listen to it again.
Before I'm gone, another my life. All night, be all night long. Another my.
And that could go. That doesn't. It's not needed.
At this point in time, actually, what's happened is Ableton crashed and I stopped recording. And actually, that's not a bad thing because I could have kept going for another half an hour to who knows how long. And I thought this is probably a good point to stop. I will post the full song. Look forward to showing you my next video. So all the best. Bye.